Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh dan salam sejahtera kepada peserta dan juga penonton webinar Worldskills Malaysia yang sedang mengikuti siaran secara langsung menerusi Zoom dan juga Facebook Jabatan Pembangunan Kemahiran. Terlebih dahulu, saya perkenalkan diri, saya Nuriah binti Zakaria, Sekretariat Unit Pertandingan Skills Malaysia, Jabatan Pembangunan Kemahiran. Sekali lagi, selamat datang ke program webinar Worldskills Malaysia yang mana matlamat utama program adalah untuk menyampaikan maklumat dan juga berkongsi pengetahuan setiap bidang pertandingan kemahiran. Memandangkan dengan kekangan pandemik COVID-19 yang melanda dunia, maka banyak pertandingan-pertandingan kemahiran yang dibatalkan dan juga ada yang ditunda pada tahun-tahun mendatang. Jadi tahun ini telah diisytiharkan oleh Worldskills International sebagai The Year of Innovations, Showcasing and Promotions kepada warga kemahiran seluruh dunia. Untuk makluman di peringkat kebangsaan, Jabatan menganjurkan pertandingan Worldskills Malaysia belia dan pengajar WSMB dan WSMP, dan bagi peringkat menengah rendah adalah pertandingan Junior Skills Malaysia atau JSM. Manakala di peringkat antarabangsa, Malaysia aktif menyertai Worldskills ASEAN Competition atau ASC, Worldskills Asia, WSA dan juga pertandingan peringkat kemahiran tertinggi di dunia iaitu Worldskills Competition, WSC. Jadi pada pagi ini merupakan satu edisi sulung penganjuran webinar dan bakal menyaksikan perkongsian oleh pakar negara dari bidang automobil teknologi. Jadi pakar akan berkongsi maklumat dan pengalaman untuk semua peserta webinar akan dapat menimba pengetahuan berkaitan aspek pertandingan di peringkat kebangsaan maupun antarabangsa. Jadi para peserta sekalian, sebelum itu bagi memastikan kelancaran webinar pada hari ini, maka kami ingin berkongsi sedikit pesanan untuk pengetahuan. Sekali lagi dimaklumkan bahawa siaran webinar ini dipancarkan melalui Zoom webinar dan juga live Facebook di Jabatan Pembangunan Kemahiran. Jadi anda boleh tekan button share untuk perkongsian yang lebih meluas di media sosial. Jadi para peserta dijemput untuk bertanya soalan dengan menaip di bahagian Q&A ataupun chat box, dan elakkanlah menggunakan perkataan yang ringkas supaya soalan anda itu nanti mudah difahami oleh sekretariat dan peserta webinar yang lain. Soalan-soalan akan dipaparkan yang mana akan dipilih oleh sekretariat secara rawak dan akan diajukan kepada penceramah pada sesi Q&A nanti. Berkaitan dengan isi jail, ia hanya akan diberikan kepada peserta yang mengisi borang kehadiran webinar dan menjawab soalan penilaian di borang kehadiran. Sila rujuk ruangan chat bagi link tersebut, ada di skrin anda sekarang kan? Okey, jadi anda perlu menjawab soalan penilaian yang terdapat di borang kehadiran dan pastikan anda mengikuti siaran ini sehingga akhir. Jadi mungkin sekretariat boleh pinkanlah kita punya link tu sama ada di Zoom ataupun di Facebook JPK. Jadi agenda kita pada hari ini pertama adalah ucapan aluan oleh pengarah bahagian pejabat pemantauan projek PMO JPK. Kedua, kita akan ke sesi pembentangan oleh pakar negara bagi bidang automobil teknologi dan seterusnya bagi sesi Q&A. Jadi para peserta dan juga penonton, kita terus ke agenda pertama. Dijemput pengarah bahagian pejabat pemantauan projek Jabatan Pembangunan Kemahiran, Puan Hajah Zuliah binti Darsum untuk menyampaikan kata-kata aluan berkaitan penganjuran program webinar Skills Malaysia ini. Dengan segala hormatnya dipersilakan.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh dan salam sejahtera. Terlebih dahulu, marilah kita sama-sama memanjatkan kesyukuran ke atas kehadrat Allah Subhanahu Wa Taala kerana dengan izin dan limpah kurnianya dapat kita bersama-sama hadir dalam satu lagi program perkongsian ilmu iaitu webinar Skills Malaysia 2021 yang dianjurkan oleh Jabatan Pembangunan Kemahiran JPK, Kementerian Kerja Raya KKR dengan kerjasama Pusat Latihan Pengajar dan Kemahiran Lanjutan CHEAH. Webinar ini diadakan sempena dengan tema Worldskills International Year of Innovation, Showcasing and Promotion. Tuan-tuan dan puan-puan, webinar Skills Malaysia 2021 dibuat dalam talian secara maya mengikut di bidang kemahiran dan kita rancangkan pada tahun ini sebanyak 20 webinar yang akan diadakan. Ianya bertujuan untuk menyampaikan maklumat bagi setiap bidang yang dipertandingkan. Maklumat pertandingan ini penting bagi memastikan semua aktiviti pertandingan di peringkat agensi dapat berjalan dengan lancar. Tuan-tuan dan puan-puan sekalian, ekoran pandemik COVID-19 yang melanda seluruh negara termasuklah Malaysia, pada tahun 2020 pertandingan peringkat kebangsaan tidak dapat dijalankan. Begitu juga dengan peringkat antarabangsa di mana pertandingan terpaksa ditunda dan ada yang dibatalkan. Antara objektif program webinar Skills Malaysia 2021 ini adalah untuk memberi peluang kepada warga kemahiran untuk menimba pengetahuan mengenai pertandingan kemahiran, peringkat kebangsaan dan antarabangsa dari pakar yang berpengalaman dalam pertandingan peringkat kebangsaan dan juga antarabangsa. Kedua, meningkatkan pengetahuan para peserta, jurulatih dan personel pertandingan tentang technical description, test projek, senarai infrastruktur, skim pemarkahan dan juga maklumat teknikal dalam pertandingan. Dan semestinya webinar ini memberi pendedahan dan maklumat awal kepada para peserta yang telah mendaftar sebagai peserta untuk menghadapi pertandingan yang akan diadakan kelak. Tuan-tuan dan puan-puan, sasaran bagi program webinar Skills Malaysia 2021 ini adalah tenaga pengajar di pusat-pusat latihan kemahiran awam dan juga swasta, Institut Latihan Pendidikan Awam dan juga swasta, begitu juga dengan pelajar dan pengurusan. Untuk itu, saya mengucapkan tahniah kepada mereka yang mengikut program pada hari ini secara maya dan diharapkan informasi serta pelbagai maklumat dapat dimanfaatkan sepenuhnya. Tuan-tuan dan puan-puan sekalian, akhir kata, setinggi-tinggi ucapan terima kasih kepada penceramah yang sudi hadir pada kali ini, berkongsi maklumat serta pengalaman yang berharga dalam program webinar ini. Harapan saya agar maklumat yang disampaikan ini dapat memberi manfaat kepada semua. Saya juga ingin mengucapkan syabas dan tahniah kepada Urustia serta semua yang menjayakan webinar pada hari ini. Sokongan tuan-puan terhadap pertandingan kemahiran amat dihargai. Sekian, saya sudahi dengan wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh dan salam sejahtera.
Terima kasih kepada Puan Hajah Zuliah di atas ucapan aluan itu tadi. Para peserta yang dihormati, tanpa melengahkan masa, kita akan ke agenda yang kedua yang ditunggu-tunggu. Sesi pembentangan dan takliman oleh Encik CHEAH Wing Yu dari Bidang Automobile Technology. Untuk makluman, sedikit profil ringkas beliau. Encik CHEAH Wing Yu merupakan After Sale Advisor di BERMAZ Motor Trading, berpengalaman luas selama 43 tahun dalam industri otomotif, pernah bertugas di Alfa Romeo, Mercedes-Benz, BMW dan Mazda. Beliau berpengalaman dalam bidang pertandingan kemahiran ini di peringkat kebangsaan sebagai hakim dan pengubal soalan pertandingan hampir 26 tahun, manakala di peringkat antarabangsa menyertai ASEAN Skills Competition EAC sebagai pakar negara selama 18 tahun dan di Worldskills Competition selama 17 tahun juga sebagai pakar negara. Kemuncak pencapaian beliau telah membawa peserta negara merangkul pingat gangster di Worldskills Competition WSC Abu Dhabi 2017. Di talian sekarang kita ada Cik CHEAH Wing Yu. Mr. CHEAH? Mr. CHEAH boleh dengar ke? Ada suara? Mr. CHEAH boleh dengar saya? Selamat pagi Mr. CHEAH.
Ya, selamat pagi Puan. Sorry, mic tadi mute. Okey, sekarang saya boleh cakap?
Ya, Mr. CHEAH sihat ya?
Saya sihat. Terima kasih Puan.
Kita boleh teruskan dengan sesi pembentangan dari Mr. CHEAH?
Ya, boleh. Terima kasih.
Mr. CHEAH, silakan.
Okey, selamat pagi bagi semua tuan-tuan dan puan-puan. So, tadi sudah diintroduce oleh Puan. So, saya nak tak mau buang masa lagi, so I will start straight. Semua sudah tahu WSMB dengan WSMP kita punya technical description lebih kurang kita adapt, sebenarnya kita adapt dari Worldskills competition. Ya, so I will akan tunjuk present to you sekarang itu technical description which I extracted out from the Worldskills competition. All right, so I show you the so I hope everybody able to view this PowerPoint. I will start with the technical description atau short term kita namakan TD for automobile technology. So the TD contains atau ada dalam content dia adalah standard yang required untuk compete this competition. Okay. So the standard that govern the competition are the assessment principle, methods, and procedure. So this is the standards that developed by Worldskills competition, WSC. So this standard is termed as Worldskills Standard Specification or WSSS until 2019. Since last month, January 2021, the standard is now termed as Worldskills Occupational Standards. So from WSSS to WSOS. Okay. So the SOS specify the knowledge, the understanding, and the specific skill that is required to compete in the competition or participate in this competition. Okay. These standards link to international best practice in technical and vocational performance. Meaning is that Worldskills used the industrial standard as the benchmark to develop this specification of the WSOS, the knowledge, the understanding, and the specific skill. The standards can be a guide to required training and preparation for the competition. So meaning you can use this standard as your reference to prepare your participants to participate in the competition in our WSMB or WSMP. All right. So you can use this as your guide. Okay. In the skill competition, the assessment of knowledge and understanding will take place through the assessment of performance. Meaning while we are assessing you doing the practical, we can able to at the same time able to assess the knowledge and your understanding about the task that you are given to perform. Yeah. So the standard specification is divided into two distinct sections, heading and relative importance. For automobile technology, the standard specification has 5 headings. The first one is work organization and management. They have allocated 10% of the total marks for this work organization and maintenance and management. I will elaborate more detail at the next few slides. What we mean by work organization and maintenance, management, sorry. Then the second one is communication and interpersonal skill. So you should have this skill while you're doing the competition because you need to communicate with the judges. You need to explain to the judges. So you have 10 points for able to perform this area. All right. The third one is electrical and mechanical system and their integration. And this area you get 25% of the marks. All right. Then the fourth one is inspection and diagnosis. You get even higher because of the diagnostic skill comes in and the inspection skill. So you get 35%. Then repair, overhaul, and service, you get 20%. Total 100%. All right. So the first two heading is more towards non-technical, whereas from the third, fourth, and fifth is onto your technical skill and knowledge. We assess you during the competition. Okay, so these are the 5. So just to summarize it out on these 5 sections, here I review it again. Each section is assigned a percentage of the total marks to indicate its relative importance within the standard specification. As you can see, they emphasize more, you get more marks onto the technical skill and diagnosis, but you also get 20 marks for the non-technical. Yeah. Then the sum of all the percentage marks is 100, which you have seen it just now, the earlier slide. Then the marking scheme and the test project will assess only those skills that are not set out, that are set out in the standard specification. That means in the competition, the test project that the judges have, panel of judges have developed, and the marking scheme will be based on to the skill that is set in the standard specification. The marking scheme and test project will follow the allocation of marks within the standard specification to the extent practically possible. Yeah, so everything is based on to the standard specification. The test project that we develop and the marking scheme that we develop will be based very specifically onto the standard specification. All right, so in the next few slides, I will show you the detail about this standard specification. Let's start on with work organization and management, which you will get 10% of the 100%. So the individual needs to know and understand the purpose, the uses, the care, maintenance of all equipment, materials, fluid, together with their task, all right, and safety implication, the difficulties and risks associated with related activities, together with their causes and method of prevention, the time management and parameters associated with each activity. So time management is one of the criteria, important criteria, which my experience all these years in competition, most of the participants, they did not have a good time management. Yeah, sustainable environment, health and work safety principles and their application in the work environment. So this is what you need to know in terms of knowledge. So what you see here is the knowledge, and now we go on to the skill. The individual shall be able to prepare and maintain safe, tidy, and efficient workstation. Prepare self for the task in hand, including full regard for health, safety, and environment. Plan, prepare, and complete each task within time available. Schedule work to maximize efficiency and avoid disruption. Select and use all equipment and materials safely and in compliance with manufacturer instructions. Meaning, when you use the equipment, you should follow strictly to the manufacturer instruction. Clean, store, and test all equipment and materials safely and in compliance with manufacturer instructions. Apply or exceed the health, safety, and environment standards applying to the environment, equipment, and material. Restore work area and vehicle to appropriate state and condition, meaning upon completion of your task, you should keep the whole workplace and the vehicles and the equipments in good condition. Yeah. So this is for section number 1 about work organization and management. Now I move to the second one, communication and interpersonal skill, 10%. On the knowledge side, the individual needs to know and understand the range and the purposes of documentation, including written and technical drawing, including schematic and wiring diagrams in both paper-based and electronic forms. In other words, actually nowadays, all our workshop manual and the wiring diagrams are electronic format. So you have to be well versed of how to operate a computer to access and retrieve information that required. The technical language associated with the skill. So English will be an advantage if you know, because this is the most common language we use onto all our documentation. The industry standard required for inspection and reporting in oral, written, and electronic format. So it's based on industrial standards. Yeah, the required standards for customer care and service. Okay, so this is the part of the knowledge that you should know. And now we go on to the skill side of it. The individual shall be able to read, interpret, and extract technical data and instructions from books or manuals in any available format. Can be a hard copy in paper form, or can be a soft copy from electronics through the computer. Communicate in the workplace by written and electronic means using standard format. Communicate in the workplace by oral, written, and electronic means to ensure clarity, effectiveness, and efficiency. Use a standard range of communication technologies. Complete report and respond to issues and questions arising. Respond to customers' needs face-to-face and indirectly. So these are the knowledge and the skill that you must have under this communication and interpersonal skill. All right. Then the third one is the electrical and mechanical system and their integration. You will get 25% of the 100%. This is the knowledge that you need to have. The individual needs to know and understand spark ignition and compression ignition engine management system, meaning petrol engine and diesel engine management system. You need to know. You must have the knowledge. Engine mechanical system, that means the component in the engine, piston, connecting rod, crankshaft, camshaft, and other parts, which is under engine mechanical system. Hybrid and electrical vehicle system. So this is one of the new subject introduced now on this latest WSOS, where they now include hybrid and electric vehicle system. So you should know the function of a hybrid car and electric vehicle. Force induction, emission, and exhaust system. Meaning force induction is turbocharging or supercharging. Because now it's very common on all the latest model of the vehicle that is selling in the market are all turbocharged engine, some supercharged engine. So this is under force induction. Yeah. Then we have the body electrical and electronic systems. So we have tremendous new electronic system in the vehicle, in all this latest model that now in the market, whereby you must have the knowledge about the function of all these system, electronic system in the vehicle. Then we have the braking and stability control system. Then we have the suspension and steering system. Then we have the drive line system. Then we have the HVAC system, that is heating and air conditioning system, HVAC. Yeah. Then we have the airbag and safety restraint system. That's the SRS. Then we have the consumer electronics, which is the entertainment system in the vehicle. Then how each system is interconnected and can be an effect on other systems. This one refers to the CAN bus system in the vehicle. Yeah, because many systems from the brake system, steering, suspension, they are all interconnected to the engine management system via the bus system, the CAN bus system. So you have to understand about the CAN bus system. Then we have sensors and informations are shared between various management systems. That's why, again, through the CAN bus system, we can enable various systems in the vehicle can communicate and exchange data. All right. So these are the whole list of knowledge that you need to have, both electrical and mechanical system. Now onto the skill side, the individual shall be able to use test equipment to measure, check, and diagnose systems for mechanical and electronic faults. Perform tests to identify and isolate fault. So these are the skill side that you have to know under this part number 3, electrical and mechanical system and their integration. All right. Now I move on to the fourth part of it, inspection and diagnosis. So the knowledge side, the individual needs to know and understand the correct use and interpretation of relevant measuring devices and equipment, the principles and application of all relevant numerical and mathematical calculation, the principle and application of specialist diagnostic procedure, tooling, and equipment. So this all covers under the knowledge of this part number 4, inspection diagnosis, meaning you have to know how to operate all the various devices which you need to use during inspection time and during diagnosis time. So these are the knowledge. And the skill side, the individual shall be able to calibrate and use all measuring devices and equipment, both mechanical and electrical, for diagnosis. Determine the precise location of component faults within a range of light vehicle system. Yeah. Select and apply the appropriate devices and equipment to make inspection and diagnose deficiency and fault to spark ignition system, compression ignition system, force induction ignition and exhaust system, body electrical electronic system, braking and stability control system, suspension and steering system, driveline system. Then you should be able to calculate, check, and interpret result as required. Then you need to know how to review the options for repair and replacement. So these are the knowledge and skill for part number 4, inspection and diagnosis. Okay. Then the last part of it, the 5th part, which is to repair, overhaul, and service. So I again start with the knowledge. The knowledge that you need to know, the individual needs to know and understand the options for replacement, repair methods and procedures, requirements for special tools, the effect of repairs or replacement on other vehicle systems, and associated repair work. So these are the knowledge that you need to know under this section number 5. Then on the skill side, the individual shall be able to use manufacturer and component suppliers specification as required. Construct, justify, and communicate appropriate proposal and decision regarding the repair or replacement. Use correct procedure for securing replacement parts. Repair vehicle electrical system and electrical circuits, repair, overhaul, charging and starting system, repair, overhaul, hydraulic braking system, both disc and drum brakes, and all associated components, including hand or parking brakes, which include nowadays, most of the car already using electronic control parking brake system. Repair electronically control anti-lock brakes and stability control system. That is the traction system of the vehicle. Then remove and overhaul driveline components. Repair, overhaul steering system components, including mechanical, electrical, and hydraulic power assist steering system. So meaning we cover both the old power assist steering system, which is normally hydraulically assist, but now all the latest model that is now on the road are electrical control. Yeah. Repair suspension system and associated components. Carry out steering wheel alignment operation. Repair or overhaul 4-stroke engines and associated engine components. That means overhauling the engines. Then repair, overhaul manual or automatic transaxle and transmission and the components. Repair diesel fuel system, including electronic compression ignition engine management system and associated components. Yeah, so it's quite similar. Nowadays, the modern diesel engine, the latest generation diesel engines, they are similar to the petrol engines because they're also controlled by a control unit. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, these are the 5 standard specification for automobile technology. If you want to participate in the competition, you have to have all this knowledge, the required knowledge, as well as the skill that you need to perform. As what mentioned earlier in one of my slides earlier, all right, while we assessing your skill, the judge may ask you certain question. That's why we can able to know your knowledge that you have. Yeah, so you need to have both knowledge and skill in order to participate in this competition. And I have already presented to you these 5 sections of the standards specification for automobile technology. All right. So I just review back again on this. What is the requirement? You need the knowledge about automobile technology, about the car, of the various system, from the engine to the transmission, to the suspension, to the gearbox, to the wiring system, steering and brake system. So all this knowledge is required. Then we need the basic skill, where you must know how to use the various common tools as well as special tools. When you perform certain practical, certain special tools are required in addition of the common tools. All right. Then you must have the knowledge about measuring equipment and how to use this measuring equipment to perform the measuring skill, to measure certain things in the right way, both mechanically as well as electrically. As what you can see here, the diagram show you a micrometer, so you're measuring mechanical components. But we also need to use certain electronic devices to do the measuring of the electrical system in the vehicle, which is very, very important nowadays because our cars have increasing of electrical system into the car more than 60% already. Yeah. And lastly, of course, you must have the basic diagnostic skill, using of multimeters, using of scan tools, and the various other electrical devices. So these are the 4 main areas that you must have in both knowledge and skill in order to participate in this competition for the trade of automobile technology. So I give you an example about what you should know, like overhauling an engine. Yeah, example, an engine. The knowledge is you must, as what mentioned just now earlier onto the 5 standard specification, you must know about an engine, how an engine works, how is a 4-stroke cycle works, how the starting system works, the fundamental starting system, how to start the engine, in other words, fundamental of fuel injection and ignition system, yeah, which is the, nowadays we commonly call it as the engine management system. A combination of fuel injection and ignition system is the engine management system. Interpretation and execution of drawings, sketches, and diagrams. Application of tools and equipment to carry out overhauling of an engine. So in order to perform an overhauling of an engine, these are the knowledge that you need to have. Yeah. Then the basic skill, able to perform basic diagnostic onto the starting system, able to disassemble and assemble the external and internal components of an engine independently, that means alone, usage of correct tools and equipment, observe all safety rules and regulations while carrying out the overhauling of the engine. So this is another very important area, the safety rules and regulations. You may be a very skillful technician who can able to overhaul an engine, but if you do not follow the safety rules and regulations, you were not able to pass the competition. Right? Then measuring skill, usage of various measuring equipment, able to perform various measuring work, able to present a written report. So this is in the area of the measuring skill. And then basic diagnostic skill, usage of various electrical measuring equipment, able to perform various measuring work, able to interpret wiring diagrams, able to carry out correction and rectifying the fault. So this is under the basic diagnostic skill. So I give one more test project as to give you a better understanding, yeah, the requirements of to participate in the competition. Example, since on the national skill competition, we are still getting a sponsor from Proton, so I'm using a Proton engine, the ChemPro engine, which with the code of S4P-VVT. Yeah, so you have to overhaul this engine and perform measurement on the engine components. So what do I mean by that? Yeah, so under the knowledge required, you have to understand about the function of the ChemPro engine S4P-VVT. Then function of the engine management system, as I mentioned earlier, both in the injection system and the ignition system of the engine is under engine management system. Then understand the various measuring tools. Then function of the PADT tool, that is the scan tool from Proton. Interpretation of wiring diagrams and usage of workshop manual. So these are the knowledge that you require in order to perform overhauling the ChemPro engine. So the skill required, use of common and special tools to disassemble and assemble the ChemPro S4P-VVT engine. Usage and technique of measuring tools, use of various measuring tools to perform measurement on the engine components, use of report form to present the condition of the engine components, use of PADT tool to perform engine tuning and performance check. All right, so example, measuring tool, a bore gauge, the correct way to measure the bore of the cylinder, the way to hold the tool. as shown in this picture. Then correct procedure to measure piston ring gap. The correct way to set the piston in the right position before you attempt to measure the ring gap. Another example, how to measure the cam diameter. Yeah, using a micrometer, measuring a valve stem using a micrometer. Then using a dial gauge to determine the camshaft, whether it is bent or not bent. All right. So these are the examples of measuring tools and the technique of using the tool. Yeah. Then one more here, one last here is the installing the piston ring into the piston, the correct tool to use and the correct way to ensure the piston ring is seated back to its correct position. And also, like here, Proton recommended the piston ring gap setting, how to set the piston ring gap according to factory recommendation. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that ends my presentation regarding the technical description, or more specific to the standards specification of the competition. All right, these are the area that you have to know, both knowledge as well as a skill. With that, I end my presentation. Yeah. So
Okay.
shall I answer the question from these three gentlemen who have given me?
Mr. Chia,
Yeah.
okay, kita belum ready lagi soalan tu. Sementara tu mungkin Mr. Chia boleh kongsikanlah pengalaman membawa peserta negara ke peringkat antarabangsa, Worldskills dan juga di ASEAN Skills. Apakah common mistake lah yang macam simple yang biasa peserta negara buat, mungkin untuk dikongsi lah bersama peserta kita pada hari ini.
Okay, thank you, Bon. All right, let me share with you my experience after this years of involved in ASEAN competition and world skill competition. Of course, definitely the ASEAN level is I would say that is not so bad, quite similar to our national skill. Yeah, except is we have different country in the ASEAN region to participate. Both the expert and the participants, they are more straightforward. But still, our participant from Malaysia, very common mistake they make is always they are not calm enough. They always get panic. So whenever you get panic, your brain is completely blank, like a piece of photocopy paper. So you must be calm. Then only your brain will work. And you have seen what I presented just now, the 5 standard specification. Yeah, if you apply that, you have got the knowledge and you have done the skill training with your trainers, you should be able to perform. The reason you can't perform in the competition is because you get panic. That is one of the main factors. Yeah. Second is planning, meaning you must understand the task that you're given, what you are supposed to perform. Don't perform more and don't perform less. Many of our participants, the past participants, they don't understand the question that well, and they just do. So that's why they waste a lot of time doing unnecessary things. So you must be very specific. You must know exactly the task that you're supposed to perform. Then you do it accordingly. Then you should be able to perform well and you will be the champion. just like the few gold medalists that we have in ASEAN. In ASEAN automobile technology, we already have 5 gold medals so far. 1 bronze, 1 silver, if I'm not wrong, if I can remember. Because those guys who got the gold medal, they know and they follow from the instruction that are given to them, that they must understand fully the task that they need to perform. So you know exactly what you need to work on, then you plan out where you start, where you should finish. So then you don't waste time and you do exactly, and then you get the marks, and then you become the champion. Yeah. To me, my advice is always discipline must be there. You must have the discipline. You have trained, you have the knowledge, you have the skill, but you cannot perform. It's because you get panic during the competition.
Okay, Mr. Chia, yang paling penting adalah disiplin ya, Mr. Chia.
Yes, very important.
Kita akan terus ke sesi soal jawab, Mr. Chia. Mungkin ada soalan yang kita telah pilih secara rawak. So, kita lihat.
Yeah, where can I see the...
Okay. Kita tunggu sebentar soalan yang akan dipaparkan di skrin.
Okay.
Okay. Sebentar, kita tunggu dulu soalan yang akan dipaparkan. Okay, kita ada 3 soalan ni. Mr. Chia, saya bacakan. Nanti Mr. Chia boleh jawablah secara terus. Soalan pertama dari Encik Muhammad Nur Helmi. Soalannya, whether Malaysia level skill competition will start implement hybrid and electrical vehicle system in current competition. Soalan kedua, Malaysia level skills competition will start implement petrol and diesel vehicle system in current competition by Muhammad Aiman. Dan soalan ketiga itu, adakah soalan akan kita punya pertanian akan datang akan menggunakan enjin jili? Adakah menggunakan enjin kereta elektrik ni yang semakin popular sekarang di seluruh dunia? Dari Encik Sudirman Suratin.
Okay. So ini 3 dia soalan ya. Okay, I start with the first soalan. So regarding the hybrid and electrical vehicle, we have no other choice if we want to participate in the Worldskills. So I think in the very near future, I will propose to JPK that or Worldskills Malaysia to introduce this vehicle into our national skill competition, but not this year. In the coming years, I will, if I'm still involved, I will propose that we have to introduce this hybrid vehicle if we want to participate in the Worldskills. Because last year Worldskills, or year 2019, year 2019 Worldskills, they already introduced the hybrid car inside, one of the tasks. Yeah. So if we want to participate in the Worldskills, then our national skill should also have this hybrid vehicle. So I hope I have answered you. Of course, I can't give you a definite time in the very near coming years, 1 or 2 years time. We have our national level, we have to start with the hybrid vehicle. But from my experience and the knowledge that I get from the 2019 Worldskills, they just introduced this hybrid car and they only asked to disconnect the battery, the high voltage battery only on the training model. Yeah, so it's not going deep inside yet. So we can also follow that in the coming years. Okay. So on the second one, Malaysia level skill competition will start implementing petrol and diesel vehicle system in current competition. Yeah, I will say no issue. The only thing is diesel vehicle in Malaysia, the latest generation of diesel vehicle are not many on the road. So we will, for the time being, will still stick onto the petrol because it's quite similar between a petrol and a diesel engine management system. Yeah. Depending on how we can able to get sponsor from other car brand where they are selling the diesel, the latest technology diesel engine. then we can, instead of using a petrol engine, then we will use a diesel engine for the competition. No issue. And that was what I involved in the discussion in 2017 in Abu Dhabi during the meeting with the Worldskills team. We also discussed the same thing. They said we can either use a petrol engine or a diesel. Yeah. Then on adakah soalan akan datang menggunakan enjin Geely? I really cannot answer this question to you. Minta maaf, Encik Sudirman, because I need to refer to Proton. Yeah. So kalau Proton willing to provide the Geely engine, then we will use a Geely engine for the competition, the future engine. Yeah. Adakah akan terdapat soalan menggunakan enjin kereta elektrik yang semakin menjadi popular? I think it's similar question on number 1. Definitely, our national skill competition will introduce hybrid and electric car in the coming years. I can't tell you precisely from what year. I need to discuss with Worldskills Malaysia, and also to able to get sponsor, motor company to sponsor vehicle for the competition. So I hope I answer the 3 questions raised up.
Okay. Okay, Mr. Chia, kita rasa sampai situ sajalah soal sesi Q&A kita. Terima kasih. Kita mohon maaflah kita tak dapat nak jawab semua soalan dalam masa yang singkat. Sekiranya para peserta ada soalan, pertanyaan ataupun ingin mendapatkan maklumat penganjuran pertandingan, bolehlah layari di www.dsd.gov.my/skillsmalaysia atau boleh email ke skillsmalaysia@gmail.com. Okay, kalau boleh kita paparkan sedikit maklumat tersebut. Okay, boleh dapatkan ya link laman web JPK ataupun sebarang soalan boleh email ke alamat email yang tertera. Okay, Mr. Chia, tinggi-tinggi penghargaan dari kami, Sekretariat, kepada Mr. Chia Wing Yu dari BERMAZ Motor Trading atas pembentangan dan perkongsian melalui webinar sebentar tadi. Semoga ianya bermanfaat dan memberi kefahaman kepada semua peserta. Maka dengan ini berakhirlah perkongsian webinar bagi bidang automobil teknologi. Sebelum mengundurkan diri, kami dari pihak Sekretariat mohon maaf sekiranya ada sebarang kekurangan dan kita akan cuba memperbaikinya dari semasa ke semasa. Akhir sekali, prihatin rakyat darurat memerangi COVID-19. Semoga kita bertemu lagi. Sekian, wabillahi taufik wal hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Terima kasih, Puan.